pretty big game for the Sky Sport Breakers this afternoon. Their fourth game in 8 days. They beat Adelaide 85-83 last Sunday. That was away. Then went over to Perth. Lost 93-90 on Tuesday over there. Came back home and went down to Christchurch on Thursday. Went down to Melbourne United 75-67. And this afternoon they welcomed the Cairns Taipans to Spark Arena for a 4 p.m. tip-off. Big game. Breakers third, Taipans second, but they've played one more game. So a win for the Breakers presumably would take them back up above the Cairns Taipans. Sky Sport Breakers owner Matt Walsh has spent most of the last 2 or 3 years based in the United States, but he is now back in New Zealand and I'm sure enjoying what the Breakers are putting out on the court in front of him. He joins us now. Matt, good to have you with us. How good is it being back in New Zealand?
Yeah, it's amazing. New Zealand obviously holds a special place in my heart, and my family's heart, and we've lived here, we lived here for 4 years due to some, family circumstances back home. We've had to relocate back to the States, but it's amazing being back here. It's obviously been a lot of fun watching how much success we've had this year. And I'm looking forward to this home stretch where hopefully we'll win some games and make the playoffs and make a little bit of noise in the playoffs.
It's been such an impressive year by the Breakers and no doubt helped by the fact that they are themselves back home and playing, I guess, a regular home and away season. But what have you seen from them on the court that's impressed you thus far this season?
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing to watch was when we set out to build this roster, we wanted to build a really tough team. We wanted to get back to that Breakers style of basketball with toughness and defense and energy. And we did that. We went out and we brought back some, key Kiwis and Isaiah Leafa and Tom Bogdanovic, kept, the core guys around, and we brought in some really tough imports. So we're leading the league in defensive rating, which is something that was our goal. And I think that's translated to wins. And third game in 5 nights, and you could see we were a little bit short on our shots, but we still held a very good team to 77 points. And when you do that, in general, good things are going to happen.
I know pulling a basketball team together is probably more of a science, but than just getting good players out there. What have you made of the way the team have come together and the way they're responding to what Coach Modi Maor is asking of them?
Well, Modi's done a great job, and I think one of the things that we really focused on this year was doing our diligence on the imports. Obviously, we know the local guys. But we did a lot of diligence on the imports. We wanted to make sure that they were the kind of guys that we'd be proud to wear the Breakers colors. And they have been. They've been as good as we could have hoped. And then, Modi coming in, he's been with us now for 4 years. I knew what we were going to get with Modi and his energy. And I think you've seen the buy-in from the players. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a joy to watch. And the feedback we've gotten is that it's fun watching the Breakers again, which is what we wanted. And especially after 2, totally impossible years from a team perspective. It's fun. It's fun being home. It's fun being back in front of our crowd, and it's fun the style that we played this year.
Just on those 2 impossible years, as you've labelled them, and I think that's a pretty good description. No home games, obviously, tough spot to put a team in, especially with the lost revenue. How do you navigate, or how did you navigate those choppy waters as an owner?
Yeah, we look at the big picture, and we knew that it was going to be really difficult. I think at the beginning there was no way to know that it would be a 2-year process for us, but that's what it was. But the growth of the league, the growth of what we've done here, it was never a short-term project. So for us, it was just a matter of keeping our eye on the ball, keeping an eye on growing the game, using our platform to grow the game and keep providing incredible entertainment for our fans, and the rest takes care of itself. So, we never lost sight of that, and we knew that we'd return home eventually and we'd get back to having home games, and that's exactly what happened. And, we also knew that it wasn't going to be a 1-year bounce back, given just how tough of a year financially it was for the rest of New Zealand as well. So I think we're still feeling some of that, but it's exciting to be back home. It's exciting to play in front of our fans. And for us, it was never, we knew that it was going to be part of the process.
Was there ever a time during that time, Matt, when you thought about your ownership of the Sky Sport Breakers and wondered whether perhaps it was something that you wanted to continue doing?
No, definitely not. Again, me and my wife and my 3 kids, we moved here. We lived here for 4 years. I've put everything into this and our partners the last few years. So that was never, again, that was never really a consideration. We, sorry about that. Motorcycle just cruised by me here, just landed from Christchurch. But, for us, it was just, this is the reality we were dealt. We were dealt with COVID. We had to get through it. But that was never a conversation, in terms of selling the team or moving on. It was just, how do we navigate this best?
And as far as the product is concerned, you're right, the Breakers are fun to watch again. They've always have been, really, but being able to put on those game night experiences for Breakers fans. I was lucky enough to be at a game just before Christmas at Spark Arena, and man, it's the best show in town. How important is the overall product for this team?
Oh, I appreciate that. That's what we love to hear. And just seeing it in Christchurch, giving the fans around the country, that's what it's all about. And again, when I talk about our long-term vision and never losing sight of that, at the end of the day, we want to win championships. We want to make New Zealanders proud, but we're an entertainment product. And our job is to bring joy to our fans. It's to give back to the community. And that's really what the Breakers are all about. And that's what they've always been about from when the Blackwells started the club. So for us, that's what we want to hear. We want to hear them providing great entertainment. And part of that is putting a really competitive team in the court. But the other side of that is our commercial team working really hard to put out great entertainment. And I think that's something we've always done, basically since day one, since we took over.
All right, and just back onto the court to finish. You reckon you got the roster to go pretty deep to even win this championship again, Matt?
Yeah, no question. Look, the league is very tough this year, as it is every year. Obviously, Sydney's really good. They're kind of leading the pack right now. We've been close with them in 2 games, but I think the style of play that we have and the toughness in the defense, it gives us a chance every single night. Last night we couldn't throw the ball in the ocean, but we still held Melbourne United to 77 points and we were in the game. And I think in the playoffs, once the game slows down some, that's going to play to our advantage. So for us, it's just about finishing strong. Obviously, getting COVID in December, having 3 games canceled was a little bit of a setback. Compared to what we dealt with the last few years, it's nothing. So we'll finish the year strong. We'll go into the playoffs on a good run, and I look forward to, for the first time in my tenure, having a home playoff game that our fans can come support us and cheer us on. And we truly do have the best fans in the league, and we're anticipating having over 6,000. It should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You got your sneakers. You look like you could still do a job out there, Matt. Any hankering to get back out there and help the team out?
Let me be very clear about this. I'm completely old and washed up, so much so that just doing a little exercise at home last week, I hurt my calf. So any dreams of a comeback were dashed last week when I was exercising with my kids. So I'm old, I'm washed up, but luckily we've got some young, spry guys who can still do it.
Gee, it's such a pleasure to have you back in the country, Matt. Thanks for taking the time for a chat, and all the best for the rest of the season and into the playoffs with the Sky Sport Breakers.
Thanks for having me. This is it feels good to be home.